So I often get asked about taking something like this, like a Google Doc, that's meant to have answers put in these lines, in these spaces, how to do that with students in Google Classroom in a way that the formatting doesn't just get all completely jacked up, right? So if a student clicks in here and starts to type, the lines are going to split and it's just a mess, right? So often teachers want to create a PDF from this and then use Acrobat's feature of making this a form where students can click in. But I've got a solution for you that's quite a bit easier than that and doesn't require the pro version of Adobe Acrobat. And that version involves using a Google slideshow. So as an example, here's a story about the tiger, the Brahmin, and the jackal. And then here is the word bank. So these are the words that should go in these spaces here. And what I've done is I've created a Google slide in the shape of a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, and it has the same text. And then the words can be clicked on and dragged wherever they're supposed to go. I'm just going to drop this here just to kind of show you. The beauty of this is this text doesn't move. So when you click on it, you don't end up moving it. You can't even click in and start typing. Everything is done by choosing a word from the word bank and dragging it into the proper place. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps to creating this. I think you'll find it's super easy, and especially once you already have something typed up like this, it's just a matter of copying and pasting. Right, the secret behind this magic with Google Slides is to create an image in Google Slides that you treat as a background. So everything you see here, the green, the text, the two white boxes, even this white box that says Word Bank is actually a part of the background of the Google Slides, so it can't be edited. The only thing that I added to this assignment are text boxes that have the drag and drop words, right? So then the student can click on the word and drag to appropriate box, get it on the line, whatever. I did make the words blue because I felt like as a teacher it would be easier to find answers if they were in a slightly different color than the rest of the text. So that's the secret behind it. Now let's take a look at how to create it. Okay, so I have this Google Doc where I can drag and drop words, or you could drag and drop anything really. In this case, it's dragging and dropping words. The question is, how do I get from a Google Doc like this to a Google slide like this that will work in a way that students can drag and drop answers or items of some kind? So what we're going to do is we're going to start in your drive and you're going to go to New Google Slides. Now, you could certainly leave the slides in the traditional presentation layout, but for this one I'm going to go ahead and make it the shape of a piece of paper. So I'm going to go to Page Setup, and I'll go here to Custom and change it to 8.5 by 11. And then I'm going to click and I'm going to drag just to get rid of these. So I have a completely blank sheet of paper. Now, the constraints of making this video on my screen, this is very small. It will not be that small for you on your computer screen. So you can see what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and make this 50%. And you can see we can't see the whole sheet at one time this way, but we can see most of it. And you'll be able to see what I can do now. So the goal is to get to the point that this is all background and you can enter in words for students to drag and drop. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a background color. Just to keep it consistent, I'm going to go ahead and make it that same green. And then I'm going to add a text box for the title. So go ahead and get it formatted however you'd like it. right, for your text box. Now, that's this, but how do we do this? Well, what this is, these are two rectangle shapes, and then the text is placed in text boxes on top of the rectangle shapes. This is a third rectangle shape. This is a text box. So I'm going to go to the shape tool, and I'm going to create a rectangle. Not quite half the length of a piece of paper, because I want to have some gutters. So I'm going to go probably about there. And then I'm going to make it white. And that's a personal preference. You could leave it that gray color, or you could make it any color you wanted to. And then just so they are exactly the same, I'm going to copy and paste this so that I have two of them. When I paste it, I'm going to move the second one over. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to fritz with it just a little bit. You can use your mouse to do that, or your arrow keys will move things over. So something nice and wide that I can fit my text in. And now I need one more shape down here for the word bank. So I'm going to go back to my shape tool. I'm going to grab the rectangle again, and I'm going to make a word bank shape. And then I also, again, want to make that white. So I make that white too. So now I have the shapes. The next thing I need to do is get the text boxes. So I'm going to click on the text box tool. I'm going to click and drag. And you actually don't have to drag the length of the shape. You just got to get a text box in there. And then I'm going to go to the Google Doc, and I'm going to copy everything that's in this first column right here. And then I'm going to come back to this, click in there, and paste. So there's my first column. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Click and drag a text box. So once you've pasted the content, you may have to adjust the size of the text box, or in this case, adjust the font a little bit. I changed this from the font here, which is 20, to here. I changed it to 18. And just so that it looks the same on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and change this to 18 too, so they look alike. Just a little bit of fudging, and the reason being, if you look on this document, there's no gutter here, and so the font can be a little bit bigger. Plus, they're not cutting off the bottom to put the word bank. The word bank is on a second page, so you have to adjust it a little bit. But 18 is more than big enough for students to use and manipulate. And so now I'm going to come down and I'm going to add the text word bank. Kind of get that where I want it. Now, this is the piece that I don't want to be edited in any way. So everything is on here that I want students to see and be able to work with, but not be able to edit. So from here, what I'm going to do is make a PNG file. So I'm going to go to File, and then I'm going to go to Download, and I'm going to download as a PNG image, just the current slide. So everything we've created, I'm going to download it as an image. Now I'm on a Mac, so the download is right here, down here in the bottom of the corner. I'm going to go to see it in my Finder. I'm going to drag it to my desktop just so I can see it. You can save your download on your machine however you save your downloads. I'm going to give it a name like Tiger Image, just so I can find it quickly. It really doesn't matter what I name it, and you'll see why in a second. So probably give this a name so that you can come back and edit it. Maybe call it template. Again, just something so you know you can find it. All right, so we've downloaded this as an image, and we're going to use that as a background. Now we're going to make our Google Slides. So we're going to go back to our drive, and we're going to say New Google Slides. we're going to go ahead and set this up the same way with page setup. So I'm going to make it a 8.5 by 11. Go ahead and get rid of those title blocks. Make this a little bit bigger so we can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, and it's this simple. You're going to go to background, but now instead of choosing a color, you're going to choose an image. And we're going to go find that tiger image that I just downloaded, and we're going to say done. And now that whole thing that we created is now an image. It can't be edited, it can't be accidentally clicked on, it can't be moved, right? So we're almost there. This is the home stretch. So the last part of this now is we're going to add our word bank words right down here. And this is not a part of the background because we do want these to be moved, right? So I'm going to go refresh my memory. So the first word is conclusion. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to text box. I'm going to make a text box and I'm going to type conclusion. Couple of things. I'm going to make it a different color because that's going to save my eyes when I'm looking at student work. So I'm going to go to text color and I'm going to make it a blue color. All right. And that's about the size that I want. It's a 14 point. This is 18 point. So maybe I want it to be as big as the rest. So I'll make it 18 point font. Now a little trick here is from here, don't make a bunch of more text boxes and have to set up the formatting. You've got the formatting the way you want it on this one. So click on it and copy and paste it. And sure, it's the same word, but now you're just going to go get your other word. What's your next word? Shows. So I'm going to come back here, right? And then same thing, copy and paste that, and drag it over. Next word is because. Come here. And so on. So you just keep copying and pasting because the format will carry over with that text box and you won't have to format each word separately. And once you have all of your words in here, you end up with something that looks like this, that has drag and drop text boxes with words that students can use, that they can drag and drop into the spaces, just like we did at the very beginning of this video with lesson and conclusion. Be sure you give it a name. You don't want thousands of untitled presentations in your Google Drive. So I'm gonna call this the name of the story. And again, once your word bank is full, this is something that then you just assign in Google Classroom. And each student will make a copy for each student. Each student will get their own. They can drag their words into the right places and turn it in. And that's it. That's how you turn a Google slide into something that acts like an Adobe Acrobat PDF form. Super handy for work like this. It would be great for Venn diagrams. For some younger students, it'd be great for dragging and dropping in counting skills or math skills. Really, the possibilities are endless. If you're interested in learning more, reach out to your friendly ed tech coach and we'd be happy to show you more.